It's time for the most underrated and overrated part of each land in the Magic Kingdom. Hey everybody, here we are today at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World to take you through each and every land and talk about the most overrated and underrated. I'm talking attractions, dining, details, things that you're missing, and things maybe you shouldn't waste so much time on. And if you do want to spend time on those things, we'll provide some tips and tricks along the way anyway. I feel like this is going to be controversial. I feel like we might make some people mad with this one, but I'm excited. Let's get to it. We got a lot to talk about. And we're starting this video where else? At the very beginning of the park, Main Street USA. This may be a controversial opinion, but Main Street USA is actually my favorite land in the Magic Kingdom. And yeah, I know, it doesn't have any rides, but look at it, it's beautiful. You head down Main Street, this is where you get fireworks, this is where you get characters, this is where I spent a lot of money on mini ears. There's a lot to love about Main Street USA. But what's overrated here on Main Street USA? Meeting Mickey. Just kidding. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if I said that? I for real am walking over to the Town Square Theater to talk about something, but can you imagine if I was like hot off the gate was like, yeah, the most overrated thing, meeting Mickey Mouse. Oh my, I would see myself out. To make it unabashedly clear, meeting Mickey Mouse is a joy and a delight and everyone should do it and you're never too old to meet Mickey Mouse. I'm giving this land a two-way tie. And the first thing on the most overrated list, I'm sorry, Tony, but it has to be your Town Square restaurant. I want to love Tony's Town Square restaurant. There are a lot of things to love. It's got incredible real estate. It's right here in Town Square. It's got a beautiful patio that overlooks Main Street. It would be a great view for the parade. There is an adorable Lady and the Tramp theme. You can actually, if you go in there, see Lady and the Tramp eating out the back of the restaurant, because you know in Lady and the Tramp, when Lady and the Tramp go eat Italian food in that most iconic scene with the spaghetti, this is that restaurant, and they're back there if you go look. And you've even got little Easter eggs, like right there on the ground. They're little paw prints that they drew with a heart. It's an adorable restaurant in an amazing location. But what's not good about it is the food. And call me crazy, but when I go to a restaurant, I'd like there to be good food. Controversial opinion, I'm sure. But it's like Tony's Town Square. It's Italian food, and they do not do it well. It's like worse than Olive Garden most of the time. It's certainly not worth the price. It makes me sad because I want to love this so much. Everything about it should be perfect, but it's underwhelming every time. So a lot of people still book Tony's Town Square. It can be hard to get a reservation here because everybody thinks, oh my gosh, the Lady and the Tramp restaurant on Main Street, it's gonna be amazing. And it's really, really not. So to me, one of the most overrated things in the Magic Kingdom, if you're gonna spend the time and the money to sit down and dine at a restaurant, this should not be it. Actually, I don't think it should be any in the Magic Kingdom. I think you should go to the resorts. There's much better dining out there. But if you do choose to stay in here, this is not where it should be. Sorry, I had to pause because the Mickey and Friends Cavalcade was coming by, and it would be rude if I didn't. But that's actually a good segue into our next thing that's overrated, and this one's gonna come with a gasp until I explain. And it's the Festival of Fantasy Parade. Cue the gasp. But it's the Festival of Fantasy Parade on Main Street. Festival of Fantasy Parade returned a few months ago, and I am obsessed. We love a parade. I love that entertainment's coming back. There's a fire-breathing dragon, the fantastic music, the characters. It's wonderful. And I fully recommend seeing the parade. But I do not recommend seeing it on Main Street, which is one thing a lot of people really want to do. They want to sit on Main Street, they want to look at Cinderella Castle, and they want the parade to go by. But your experience is going to be better if you go watch it in Frontierland or Liberty Square, where the parade actually steps off. And that's for a few reasons. One, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when the second parade steps off, the one most people go to, do you realize how hot it is on Main Street? It is scorching hot. You will wait longer for the parade on Main Street than you will in Frontierland because it takes 20, 30 minutes for it to get down here. And people love the parade and they know it starts at 3 o'clock, so they start getting a seat on Main Street around 2 o'clock. That's about 90 minutes that you are just gonna be sitting in the direct sunlight in a Florida afternoon waiting for that parade. Whereas if you go over to Frontierland, which is far less popular of a viewing area, you can get a spot much, much closer to when the parade steps off, and you actually get to see it when it steps off, so it actually starts at 3 o'clock. And bonus tip, if you stand on the Splash Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad side of Frontierland, you can dash right onto one of those most popular attractions right when you're done, because the waits are usually a little bit lower because everybody else is here on Main Street waiting for the parade. Which of course leads me to the most underrated things here on Main Street USA. Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair is the current castle stage show, and it's the 50th overlay of the Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair, which debuted a few years ago. It features Mickey and the gang as they try to discover their dreams with the help of characters from Princess and the Frog, Tangled, and Frozen. The musical numbers are so fun, the characters are adorable, the new song that they wrote for the 50th is absolutely incredible, and too many people don't stop to watch the show, or they just like see it happening, stop and watch for a few minutes, and then move on. But it's a really, really cute show. You can find the times in my Disney Experience account, or they post them right here. Now, I do know it gets brutally hot standing out here without any cover, so my recommendation is to watch one of the later ones if you can, just because it gets a little bit cooler out here. But it's an adorable stage show. It's a great thing to do in between some of those lightning lanes, and I think it's one of the most underrated things in Walt Disney World. Now, for the Dapper Dans, one of my truest loves inside the Magic Kingdom. That's the Barbershop Quartet that's literally been here since opening, and they can be seen up and down Main Street singing classic tunes, including Disney music, basically every day. You may see them on the train station still, you may see them on the trolley, or they are back to doing their sets on the ground, and I just love the Dapper Dans. I love the fact that their outfits change seasonally, I love the fact that their music sets change seasonally, and there's just something so quintessentially Disney about being on Main Street, USA, and listening to the Dapper Dans. You can check their sets in my Disney Experience as well, but it's just one of those moments where you slow down, you take a minute, you're entertained, and it's just, again, just iconic must-do Disney for me. We've made it to the wild jungles of Adventureland, where I've got, again, 2 overrateds. Both have caveats again, and the first on the overrated list, just through these trees, you can see it, the Jungle Cruise. Now, once again, let me make myself perfectly clear. I adore the Jungle Cruise. I think it's an incredible attraction. It's an opening day attraction both here and Disneyland, and it is a delight for Disney fans. It is a must-do. But it has a 95-minute wait right now. 95 minutes for the Jungle Cruise, and that's what the line is like pretty much all day. So I think it's safe to say if you wait 95 minutes for almost anything, you're gonna think it's overrated, and especially if you are not like a Disney history fanatic, if you are not, like, you don't have any nostalgia for the Jungle Cruise, that's certainly not gonna be worth it to you. Now again, I'm not saying don't ride the Jungle Cruise. Please ride the Jungle Cruise. It is a delight. It is hilarious. I laugh every time because the skippers tell new jokes. I love the Jungle Cruise at Christmas time when it becomes the Jingle Cruise. It is, again, a quintessentially nostalgic Disney thing. But do not wait 95 minutes for the Jungle Cruise in the middle of the day and that very tight, cramped line, because you're going to be cranky, and I don't want you to be cranky. So, my best advice for riding the Jungle Cruise is to rope drop the Jungle Cruise. It does not open for early theme park entry, so everybody's got fair game if you want to come here very first thing in the morning when the park opens. If not, make it your first selection on Genie Plus. If you're purchasing Genie Plus for the day, make this your 7 a.m. selection, and then enjoy the Jungle Cruise with minimal wait. It's a delightful attraction. I highly recommend you doing, but I'm telling you, if you wait 95 minutes, I'm sure you'll think it's overrated, and I would hope some people would support that sentiment in the comments. And if I didn't ruffle enough feathers with the Jungle Cruise, just wait till I say my next one. And yes, I am walking towards Aloha Isle. The other most overrated thing in Adventureland? Pineapple Dole Whip. I'm not here to tell you not to eat a Dole Whip. In fact, I'm gonna always encourage you to eat a Dole Whip. What I'm telling you that I believe to be a little overrated is just a plain cup of pineapple Dole Whip, and allow me to explain. I feel like I'm doing a lot of explaining myself. I know pineapple's the original, and it's some people's favorite flavor, and I'm glad for you. But we are blessed to live in a world where there are so many different kinds of Dole Whip, both in presentation and in flavor. You've got a pineapple upside down cake. You've got a Dole Whip float. You can swirl coconut Dole Whip with the pineapple. There's raspberry Dole Whip. You can swirl that with the pineapple too. You can make it a float. You could go down to Sunshine Tree Terrace and get strawberry or orange Dole Whip. There are places with lemon or lime. I'm not telling you not to eat a Dole Whip. I'm just telling you that just because it's always been pineapple doesn't mean it always has to be pineapple. I want you to treat yourself, invest in you, and maybe you'll find a new favorite treat. If you try a raspberry pineapple swirl and you still like the pineapple better, that's fine. But at least you know. At least you know that, hey, maybe the coconut pineapple is actually my favorite. Maybe, just maybe, one of the floats tickles me and brings me joy. I'm just saying, don't limit yourself just to pineapple because that was the original. Treat yourself. Love yourself. expand your Dole Whip horizons. The most underrated thing in this land, Pirates. No, not the Pirates ride. Pirates of the Caribbean, my favorite ride in this park, absolutely incredible, but I would not ever say it's underrated. I think it's properly rated. I think some people might in the comments say it's overrated, but I say, how dare you? But there's a pirate adventure very few people know about, and I think a lot of people would enjoy doing, especially when it's super duper busy here in Magic Kingdom. I guess technically this is located in Frontierland, but the whole game is located in Adventureland. So we're counting it on the Adventureland side. This is the Pirates Adventure Treasure of the Seven Seas activity. This is a free interactive activity that anybody can do where you run around Adventureland solving clues to help out Captain Jack Sparrow. When you enlist, you will be given a pirate map. You'll use your Magic Band or your card or whatever media you use to get into the park, and it will send you on a quest all throughout Adventureland where you will interact with different things and things will happen, like things will physically move as you go on this adventure. There's several different adventures. You can do it over and over again. You do not have to finish the whole adventure in one go. If you want to start and then it's your lightning lane, you can pick it back up wherever you left off. If you're an annual pass holder or coming for multiple days, you can pick it back up the next day. And it's very similar to Sorcerers in the Magic Kingdom or the old Kim Possible and eventually Phineas and Ferb adventures over in Epcot. I think this activity is so fun and so underrated. It only operates from 12 to 6, so keep that in mind, but it's a great thing to do in the middle of the day when everything has really long lines, when you're in between lightning lanes, when you've got some kids that just kind of want to run around and blow off some steam and not wait in a line anymore. I did it for a video recently and I had so much fun. Highly, highly recommend. It's something a lot of people don't know about and something I think very few people will regret doing. Yeehaw, friends, we have made it to Frontierland, where I don't think it's going to be a surprise if you know me at all. What I'm about to say is the most overrated thing in Frontierland. Are you ready? Say it on a count of 3 with me. 1, 2, 3, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Just kidding. It's obviously Splash Mountain. Now, I'm going to take out my personal bias about hating getting wet, which I do. I hate it. I hate getting wet on rides. Some of you feel the same way as me. Some of you support me, and you understand that walking around with wet underwear is not fun. But that's not why I put Splash Mountain as the most overrated thing in this land. First of all, there's not that much in this land. Like, there is, but there isn't that many big things. The two big things are this and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and I would certainly say Splash is more overrated than Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and let's walk through why. Number 1. The line is always incredibly long. It has a 75-minute queue right now compared to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad's 45-minute. I'm not saying don't ride Splash Mountain, the same way I wasn't saying don't ride Jungle Cruise. I'm just saying don't ride Splash Mountain with a 75-minute wait outside in the direct sunlight in the middle of the day. Number 2, it's based on a movie and an IP that barely anyone has seen. And it's a controversial IP at that. Maybe when this becomes Princess and the Frog, with new animatronics and Princess and the Frog music, I'll like it more. Number 3, it needs some work. A lot of the animatronics don't work anymore. It needs some TLC, and it hasn't gotten it. What the pros I'll give Splash Mountain, it's a long ride, so if you do wait in that long 75, 90-minute queue out in the heat, at least it's like a 12-minute ride. And it does feel quintessentially Disney because it's part dark ride, part boat ride. So I respect that, and it is fun. The big drop is fun. But here's my tip for Splash Mountain. Book it as the lightning lane, so you don't have to wait in that long line, or ride this one at night. Splash Mountain at night is much more fun, in my opinion, because when you crest at the top of that big drop, you get this absolutely incredible view of Cinderella Castle and the park. So if you are going to ride Splash Mountain, wait till later in the day and ride it at night. And again, I'm not saying don't ride Splash Mountain. I'm taking out my personal feelings about water rides. But I think it's safe to say Splash Mountain is the most overrated thing in this land if you have to pick something. Now, let's chase all that. Chase the anger. Let's melt the anger away with one of my favorite underrated snacks in Walt Disney World that you can find nestled, hidden in Frontierland. Nestled here at a cart across from the Country Bear Jamboree and the literal Country Bears right now. Hey, Wendell! Hey, Zeke! They're so cute. Talk about underrated. Oh my gosh, they are great. Look. Sorry, I'm flirting with a bear real quick. Stop. Located right here is this one particular cart that serves churros and pretzels. And if you look, it's not even pictured. You gotta zoom in right there on the just words menu and you'll find the pepper jack pretzel. The pepper jack pretzel is just a little tiny bit spicy. It's a nice salty pretzel with pepper jack cheese shoved inside. It's absolutely delicious. And if you want to really go big, get the dollar side of queso from Pecos Bill's to dip it into. It's A+. Hear ye, hear ye. We have made it to Liberty Square, where it's obvious the most overrated thing, the Liberty Square Market. Now, the Liberty Square Market used to be one of my favorite places to grab a snack because they used to sell baked potatoes, which are a delicious snack. Seems weird, but they were a nice theme park food. Maybe you will remember this as well in the comments. But now the Liberty Square Market simply sells generic snacks like chips. Sometimes it has fruit, it has those pickles, it has sodas, turkey legs, and plain hot dogs. And that's it. And it just feels like a waste of a good snack space. It certainly feels like a waste of money to buy something like chips or an apple in the middle of the theme park. And I know people have picky kids, and there is sometimes you just need to give your kid what your kid will eat, and I get it and I support it. Don't forget, you can also bring food in. You can bring in that kind of snack, and that way when you spend money on food in the parks, you're spending money on like unique Disney snacks. Additionally, turkey legs, not for me. Maybe they're for you, but I actually think a turkey leg is less offensive than just a plain hot dog. If you're gonna eat a hot dog in Walt Disney World, go to Casey's Corner. Get one of the fun themed hot dogs. Get one of the fun, like get corn dog nuggets. Get something a little bit more unique than just a plain hot dog that's going to be handed to you wrapped in tinfoil. So Liberty Square Market, most overrated thing in Liberty Square. Now for the most underrated thing in Liberty Square, again, a two-way tie for me. It's either the details in the land. Disney does details impeccably well. It's one of the things that sets Disney apart is their attention to detail and the little Easter eggs and things that they leave within the land. Those familiar with U.S. history and even those in elementary school learned the tale of Paul Revere, who was going to let us know when the British were coming prior to the American Revolution. And he said historically, 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. That's how many lanterns he would put out to let us know how the British were invading. And if you look up in that top window there on that round building, you've got your 2 lanterns right there. And yes, they do light up at night. And I also want to say to all my friends in the UK, water under the bridge. We're good now. I love you. Thank you for watching. The other most underrated thing in this land is the shopping. Most people don't think of Liberty Square as a place that you want to go shopping. You probably think of Main Street USA, maybe you think of Tomorrowland with its big stores, maybe even Fantasyland because they have a lot of stores. But there's 2 of the best and most unique stores in the Magic Kingdom, both located in Liberty Square. The first is the old Christmas Shoppy over across from Sleepy Hollow. This is where you can get Christmas 365. You can get a wide variety of ornaments. You can personalize ornaments. The second one on our list is right here outside Haunted Mansion. This is Memento Mori. This is the Haunted Mansion shop with so many Haunted Mansion goodies. Let's go in and take a look and see what they have right now. But Haunted Mansion, being one of, if not the most popular attraction in Disney lore, deserves a cool shop, and it has one with some incredibly cool details. If you are a Mansion fan, you can find literally Mansion denim. That's where we're at. There's Mansion everything. For starters, I love this magic painting of Leota, as in Madame Leota, whose head is inside the crystal ball on the attraction. If you watch it, the raven will appear, the wallpaper eyes will appear, this thing will start to glow, but this is what Leota looks like in her human life. Mansion cards, Mansion shirts, Mansion puzzle, Mansion Skyliner figurine, Madame Leota figurine, Mansion ears, Mansion diorama. There is literally Mansion, Mansion, Mansion. It's pretty fun coming in here. And again, even if you don't want to buy anything, come in here, look around, ask some of the cast members some stories. There's ghosts hiding in jars. We love Haunted Mansion. We've made it to Fantasyland, friends. A land where I feel like there's probably quite a few things some of you might be saying are overrated. You might be like, which of the attractions with the super long lines is she gonna choose? Maybe she's saying it's Little Mermaid because she's scared of Ursula. It's not Little Mermaid. In fact, I'd say that's underrated. Well, she just walks past Peter Pan's flight, so it can't be that. Oh, but it is. The most overrated thing in Fantasyland? Peter Pan's flight. I feel like I need a graphic that's like, only overrated if you wait in a really long line, but always has a really long line. Like that's like a lot of words to put on screen, but that's what I mean about Peter Pan's flight. Peter Pan's Flight is one of the most popular attractions in Fantasyland and all of Magic Kingdom, and it's been around since almost opening day. It opened up 2 days later, and it has consistently one of the longest lines in the Magic Kingdom. It is a 90-minute line right now, and I have stood in that 90-minute line. It is a long 90 minutes. Even though you are inside in air conditioning, it's a lot of unhappy children. It's very close quarters, and it's very loud, and there are not enough poor Nana, poor fathers to get us through that. Poor Nana, poor father, poor me in a 90-minute Peter Pan's Flight queue, and poor you if you're there too. Now, Peter Pan's Flight, I love it. I adore it. I know it sounds like I don't. I think it is one of the most nostalgic attractions in the Magic Kingdom. It is one of the ones I have the most distinct memories of riding it as a child when I fell in love with coming to this place. And if you didn't grow up with the nostalgia factor of this one, you're like, what? People wait 90 minutes for this? So much like Jungle Cruise, much like Splash Mountain, I'm not telling you not to ride Peter Pan's Flight. In fact, I believe that every kid should ride Peter Pan's Flight the first time they come to Walt Disney World. But do yourself a favor. Rope drop it if you are part of a resort guest early theme park entry. Wait till the end of the night. Ride it when it's deluxe extended hours if you are a Disney World deluxe resort guest. Or book it with a lightning lane. If you're not going to do Jungle Cruise, make this one of the first ones you book. If you are going to do Jungle Cruise, book this one after. I promise this attraction is adorable and lovely, and it holds near and dear to my heart. When we poll you guys on social media, this is always one of the #1 answers for most overrated rides in all of Walt Disney World. Peter Pan's Flight. So I'm not saying not to ride it again. I'm saying it's overrated if you wait in a 90-minute queue for it. So I love it. Lots of you love it. You save yourself a 90-minute queue. I can just feel the comment section already just yelling, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to help you have the best day, and the best day does not include a 90-minute line at Peter Pan's Flight. Right next door to Peter Pan's Flight, though, we have our choice for the most underrated thing in Fantasyland, Mickey's PHILHARMAGIC. In fact, I think this is probably one of the most underrated things in all of the Magic Kingdom. Mickey's PHILHARMAGIC is about a 15-minute 3D movie, and it features music from classic Disney films such as The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Aladdin, and recently they added in Coco. 1, it never really has a long line. Typically, you're just waiting for the show in front of you to let out. 2, you get to sit down in the air conditioning for like 15 minutes. That is a gift on a hot summer day or during the rain. I've literally seen it start to rain, run into PHILHARMAGIC, and by the time I came out, the rainstorm was gone. It's a great place to hide from the weather in Walt Disney World. And 3, it appeals to a lot of different age groups. Little kids like it because they like the music, parents like sitting down, and who doesn't love the music? I mean, parents like the music too, but I think parents really like sitting down. Plus, did you know Mickey's PHILHARMAGIC is based on Walt Disney's original idea for Fantasia? I'm sure many of you have seen Fantasia. Of course, that is the classic Disney film, one of the first Disney films, and it features classical music paired with beautiful Disney animation. But it actually was a huge flop at the box office, so much that people called it Walt's Folly, and people thought Walt Disney was done after Fantasia failed so hard. But Fantasia failed so hard because people did not see it in the way Walt envisioned it. For starters, they invented something called Fantasound to present this show, because before that, movie theaters only had speakers in the front. It was not around you. It was not surround sound. So Walt Disney's team literally invented surround sound. They called it Fantasound, and they wanted theaters across the nation to install it. Only about 80 did, so most people were not hearing the music in concert effect the way that they were supposed to. Walt also wanted theaters to install sprinklers in the ceiling so that when you saw the buckets with the water and the dripping on you, that guests would actually get wet. And he wanted the ushers to walk up and down the aisles with incense and flower petals so what you saw on the screen, you smelled as well. And movie theaters were like, no, that's ridiculous. A few of us may install the Fantasound, but we are certainly not getting our guests wet, and our ushers take tickets. They don't light incense and walk up and down the aisles. So Fantasia was supposed to be a full sensory experience, just like Mickey's PHILHARMAGIC, and it flopped at the box office. So this is the new age version of Fantasia. It's classic music, but now it's classic Disney music. It's beautiful Disney animation. When you see those water buckets on screen, you really do get wet. When you see different foods on screen and flowers on screen, you can smell it. So to me, a big Walt nerd, if you could not tell, a big Disney history nerd, the fact that this is in honor of Walt and his original idea makes it all the more special to me. Scooting our way into Storybook Circus, and we're going to start with overrated once again, get the bad news out of the way first, and it's Big Top Souvenirs. Big Top Souvenirs used to be one of my favorite places to shop and visit in the Magic Kingdom. It's part candy shop, part souvenir shop, but unfortunately, It's kind of a ghost of its former self. Now, there are some tables in here in the air conditioning, which is nice if you would like to come in and sit down. But it used to be just like zesty and full of life. And it had a way better carpet than this like airport carpet they replaced it with. The merchandise selection is usually pretty slim. And while they do have a delicious bakery case where you can get standard bakery case treats such as cookies, caramel apples, cupcakes, as well as some of the Germany Werther's caramel from the caramel shop there, they don't usually have as much as they used to. They also don't have as many flavors of the Goofy's Glaciers as they used to. Those are the Disney branded slushies that I'm a big fan of when it's so hot outside. And they also don't usually have the cast members showing you making the treats anymore, which is one of my favorite things, is to watch them make them in-house. And they just haven't brought that back yet since the closure and the reopening. But the main thing to me is, like, look how much of this merchandise shop is still closed. They used to do embroidery in here where you could get ears and different things embroidered. And it just was a much more fun and exciting shop to come through. Like I said, it's basically a shell of its former self. So I think at this point, it's kind of an overrated place. And that makes me really sad because I used to really like this store and it was one of my favorites. But I think the most underrated thing in this land is the detail work, especially the ground. People certainly don't look down and notice what's in the ground, but there are some incredible little details that just bring this land to life. I already think this land is so cute. I showed a lot of them in my Trapped Storybook Circus video that we'll link for you, but I'm gonna show you my favorite right now. If you look around at the ground throughout Storybook Circus, you're gonna see different animals, different circus animals, like there's a bear right there. You will see giraffe, you will see elephants. And as you head over towards Dumbo, the flying elephant, you're gonna notice something else. Look at this! Peanuts! They have peanuts in the ground because we are at the circus. We are by the elephant section. There's elephant footprints too. What an incredible detail. Also, the Imagineering team did something special, or they like manufactured these peanut shells so that if you have a peanut allergy, they can't affect you, which I think it's wild they like even had to think about that. I don't know if that would happen, but if you have a peanut allergy, you're good. I just think in general, people don't look enough at the details throughout Walt Disney World because it's really what makes it special and it's really what tells the story all around you. And looking down at the ground to see what they've put there is one of my favorite ways to do that. And these peanuts are one of my favorite details ever. We've made it to the final land here in the Magic Kingdom, and to find our most overrated thing, you're gonna have to look up to the tippy top of Rocketeer Plaza here, because we're talking about the Astro Orbiter. This one might be the only one in the comments that doesn't get me yelled at that I've called overrated so far. Astro Orbiter is another version of Dumbo, just like Magic Carpets of Aladdin or Triceratops Spin, but the difference is it's way up there on top of Rocketeer Plaza. Now, I wouldn't say it's anyone's favorite attraction. It's not a super over-the-top popular attraction, so why am I calling it overrated? Even though it's not that popular of an attraction, it always has a very long line. Why? Because of the low capacity. Attractions queues are based on two things: how fast you can load and unload the vehicles and how many people can ride the ride an hour. In this case, it's very, very low. You have to literally elevator up and down people to get up onto the top of the plaza, and there's not that many rockets, and you can only put 2 people max in there at a time. And I'm talking like an adult and a child. So because of that, even though it doesn't have Genie Plus, the queue is pretty much always 45 minutes to an hour or longer. It's just simply not worth it. It's a Dumbo-style attraction. It does have a slight more thrill, I'd say, than Dumbo, just because the angle of the rocket ships. And I will give you credit if you are one of those people who's like, but ride it at night. Yes, at night it is very, very cool up there to see Tomorrowland all lit up. Generally speaking, if you're going to wait 45 minutes or an hour for an attraction in this park, there are much, much better things you can do. You could wait for Space Mountain, you could wait for Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin, you could wait much less than that and enjoy the delightful People Mover. So Astro Orbiter gets the award, most overrated thing here at Tomorrowland. And last, but certainly not least, in a world where Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin has a 50-minute wait, Space Mountain has a 50-minute wait, even the Tomorrowland Speedway has a 30-minute wait, this will probably be the most popular thing I say the whole video. The most underrated thing in Tomorrowland, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover. Not only does this baby have a 10-minute wait, but it is one of the most relaxing and delightful attractions in the Magic Kingdom. You'll step aboard and take a several-minute trip all around Tomorrowland with excellent views of the castle. You will get to see the construction progress over on Tron. You go through Space Mountain. You see a model of Walt Disney's original idea for Epcot called Progress City. It is just simply delightful. That's the only way to describe it. It is one of the most underrated fan favorites in the Magic Kingdom. People that get it, and a lot of people don't even realize that it's here. So this is probably the number one most underrated attraction in the entire park, located here in Tomorrowland, just under what we deemed most overrated. And People Mover fans, if you could, please share your support in the comments, because I know you're out there. Well, friends, that's a wrap on the most underrated and overrated things in every land of the Magic Kingdom. Hopefully that was fun and interesting. You got some good tips. What things do you agree with? What things don't you agree with? Let us know down in the comments. Now go watch my Genie Plus challenge here in the Magic Kingdom. Bye!